If you are into running or your kids have a collection of hanging medals, I'll show you in this video how to make a personalized medal holder to proudly display all of your medals. This project can be adapted for medals and or running bibs. Additionally, you can add photos to really personalize your project. The materials you'll need for this project include unfinished wood plaque, 2 spray paints of contrasting colors. I'll be using white and black spray paint in this video, a power drill and appropriate drill bits, pliers, ruler, pencil, sandpaper, square hooks, hanging hardware, foam adhesive letters, and scrap wood for drilling. We will start this project out with some light sanding of our wooden piece. Now that we've sanded down our wood block, we are going to turn it over and figure out where we want to put our picture hangers. Now I've drawn a line as my guide here, and I've put down where are my picture hangers and drawn a little circle there, and that'll tell me where to place my picture hanger. I've got one on either side. Now I've placed these about 2 1/4 inches from the edge. It's really up to you where you want to place your picture hangers. Now on the front of our medal holder, I've marked off every 2 inches, about 1/2 inch tall, and every 2 inches a marking for a hole where we'll place our hangers, our hooks for our medals here. So 2 inches from the edge and then 2 inches therefore. And that works out with this 14-inch board right here. And we'll be, in the next step, we'll drill some pilot holes for our medal holder. In this step, we're drilling small pilot holes so that we know where to put in our hooks later on. And you also notice that I have some scrap wood underneath my good wood plaque. That way I don't accidentally drill a hole into my table. Now that we've drilled our 6 pilot holes on the front, we will turn this over and we'll drill our pilot holes for our picture hangers on the back. And we certainly don't want to drill all the way through. We just want to make some small pilot holes here. We are now ready to start spray painting our wooden plaque. Now I'm just going to get all the dust off with a lightly damped cloth. And we'll let this dry for about an hour. And we are back. Our white spray paint is completely dry now, as you can see. And I have started putting some masking tape, some painter's tape around the edges. I've decided I want to, this is an optional step of course, I've decided I want to leave the border white and then I'm going to spray paint black on top. And I've printed out my name. This is a personalized medal holder. You really could do any lettering that you want to. And I printed out my name just to give myself a good idea of how to space my letters out. So the midpoint, I folded this in half. The midpoint is right here, and then I've marked down with a small mark here the midpoint of my board. So I'm gonna continue using my painter's tape to go around the corners, edges of my project here. So this is sort of a reverse template. Anything that I want to keep white, I'm putting tape on, and then anything that will be black in color is now going to be exposed. Now that I have taped up the sides, edges of my project here, I'm going to put down my letters. Now I'm using these sticky foam letters. This is sort of like a reverse stencil here. So don't worry about the color, don't worry about the foam letters themselves. We're just temporarily sticking them on so that we can create a reverse template for our project. I'm going to start in the middle to try to get the spacing correct. I also used a ruler to help me line up my letters, but here are my sticky foam letters. Alright, here comes the fun part. We're now going to spray down our entire surface with our lovely black spray paint here. We want to try to do this in an even coat here. Wow, that was quick. So we'll let this dry for about an hour and we'll be right back. We have allowed our black spray paint to dry. We are now removing some of this painter's tape. So we've removed the painter's tape now, and using the same method, we will remove the lettering. Our next step, we'll turn this over and we'll add the backing hangers onto our project. So I've pre-drilled a few holes at the start of this project. So now I'm just going to add the backing hangers. Got a little screwdriver. So here you see me adding a screw, adding the back hardware for hanging up my picture, hanging up my metal holder. And there it is. I've added one on each side. And now we're ready to add our hooks on. I'll be using my drill and drill bit. I try to pick a drill bit that's just slightly smaller than my hook. And I've already pre-marked all my holes in the first step of this project. So I know where my holes go. I do have a piece of wood underneath so I don't drill through my table. I make a nice large hole, and then I add my hook, and I'll do this for all 6 hooks here. Now if it starts getting really tight for you to turn the hook, I took a pair of pliers and I covered them in fabric, and I just took a little tape, taped it on, nothing permanent here, and it helps me get the hooks, and voila! I'm now adding a small amount of picture hanging wire to my project. And now our project is ready to hang. And here is our finished project with 6 hooks. You can hang your medals and your running bibs on this plaque. And using a similar technique, here is a holder for 25 medals. The only difference is that instead of using the reverse stencil, I use Mod Podge glue to glue on the text and the photos. And here is a version just for running bibs.